Fuck you, I'll cry how I want.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cheap Smut. My name is Katie Mizell.
And my name is Carl Mizell.
And this is a podcast that is feeling itself. How are you today, my love?
I'm very well. I'm always happy to be around you when you're feeling yourself, because then I like to feel you too.
Very true. Very true.
I'm very grabby.
You are. You're a tactile person.
I'm extremely tactile.
Yes.
It just so happens that you are very soft and fun to touch and amenable to that arrangement. So
yes, I am. I'm cool with it.
thank goodness. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. I mean, I'm feeling myself.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about myself. That's nice.
And I'm cupping her breasts right now.
No, you are not.
No, I'm not.
I'm not even close.
I'm a good 6 feet away from her.
Yeah, I think we could touch each other's. Yep.
there we go.
Hey, we're social distancing. Let's see. I'm good. I'm really good. We had a good day today. I repotted a bunch of my plants today, which is really nice because a bunch of my babies are getting bigger, so they had to go into bigger houses. I love when that happens. Yeah, I'm fantastic. Tomorrow is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
The whole day is just about me. It's my day, just for me. Not really.
And I will be watching the baseball game. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Is
there a baseball game on? I'm sure it'll be on our television.
The game will be on the television, but I will not be actively sitting down.
My dad will.
Eschewing. Well, the game will have been on for a little while by the time Dad gets here. But, whatevs. It is Mother's Day, so preemptively, happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
If you're listening to this on the main feed,
it's been at least 2 weeks.
No, it's been just over a week because it comes out a week later. So a belated happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers in the audience. And if you're listening to this on Patreon, it was yesterday. And if you're listening to this on the moon, how?
Ooh, on the moon? Oh, that sounds like fun. I hope our podcast makes it to the moon one day.
We've already made it to 52 countries.
Yeah. What'd you say today? Senegal?
Oh,
yeah. That's cool.
We've added
you
Senegal.
Cannot tell me that these aren't just people who are using VPNs in Nebraska. I don't know why they would.
Don't care.
But okay. They're in Senegal or wherever.
So what are the fine citizens of Senegal going to be listening to you tell us about today?
That's okay. That's a great transition, man. Okay, so today I am going to be telling you Puck and Plume, a Fangs on Ice novella by Rhea Fox. This book was recommended to me by our beautiful friend Gwenny Harper. She texted me and she was like, I think you're going to like this one. And I looked at it and I was like, you're absolutely right. I'm going to read it for the show next week.
Yeah, and I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw Rhea's post.
Yeah.
I saw the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I accidentally.
You saw the cover?
I saw the cover.
Okay.
So I'm a little tuned into what's going on,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't give the full picture.
Oh, it certainly does
I'm
not.
Sure.
No, it doesn't. This book is great though because it has elements that we both love. It is a monster fucker romance, and it's gay hockey. And how does Carl love gay hockey?
So much.
Let him count the ways.
We don't have the time.
1,000, 2 1,000. Okay, so this book, Puck and Plume, is available for $2.99 or through Kindle Unlimited. It is currently book 1 of Fangs on Ice, which I would assume means more are coming. Fantastic. Love that for us. This book takes place in Germany, I believe. Everybody speaks German, and I
believe Rhea is German.
I think
I saw that
her
on
profile says that she lives in Bavaria, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, I saw something on, I believe, her Instagram where she had mentioned being German.
Ah, wonderful. So there is a fantastic glossary of terms and pronunciation guide in the front of this book because there are a lot of words.
Oh, Danke,
exactly. There's a lot of words that I had a difficult time with, and so I apologize in advance when, even though I have this fantastic pronunciation guide, I still fuck it up.
Danky Shone.
Yeah. Dinky Shanes.
Biddy Shone. Schadenfreude.
Specifically, the word.
Hi, Himbo.
Hi, Himbo Jones. Himbo Jones wants to sit in my lap now. Come on, Bobo.
He has to bump his head onto the microphone
Yes.
arm
Yes.
there to let everybody know he's here.
Yeah.
What word are you struggling with?
I'm trying to find the pronunciation guide. Okay, here we go. The word Elvertrich. Elvertrich.
Okay.
Is probably the hardest one I'm going to have to say. I don't think I actually have to say Fichtelberg, but okay. Anyway, so this book. Let's start with our triggers. We don't really have that many, although we do have descriptions of a violent hockey, or not violent, descriptions of a brutal hockey accident that occurred in the past. This is an so for our tropes, this is an romance, of course. It is a monster romance also, so we have a fancy peen.
Ooh.
This is, I believe, our first feathered MMC, so that's pretty cool. Have we had anybody else with feathers? I don't recall.
I don't know if we've had an MMC with feathers, but I feel like maybe one of, not Orpheus, but the other Duskwalker might have had some feathers because of the origin. Like, it's like the first.
Oh yeah, you're right. We
called him Tom.
I don't think Orpheus had feathers. Yeah, no, Magnar. His real name was once he was named.
Yeah.
His name was Magnar. I think you're right. I think he had feathers. Yes. But anyway, yeah, so this is our first fully feathered friend here. Other tropes are fated mates. I'm going to go with, let's say, BBMM, big beautiful masculine monster. And size difference. Not a huge size difference, but it is a size difference book. So, okay.
All right.
Shall we begin? Our first MMC, his name is Nathaniel Decker. However, he plays hockey. So, what do we call him?
Decky. Or just Deck?
Dex.
Or Dex?
Dex.
Okay.
Dex is a hockey player. He is in his mid-20s, American college graduate who now plays in Germany. I don't know what sort of league that would be, or how good of a player that makes him.
There are a shit ton of magnificent leagues all across Europe, and I know.
I mean, I assume that there are fantastic hockey players all across Europe.
Oh.
I just don't know what the league system would be like.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's sort of probably like the Swedish league or like the Russian KHL. It's probably an isolated. If I had to guess, it's probably an isolated league within Germany, made up of teams in Germany that might play in a larger federation tournament against other European countries. That's my best guess.
Yeah. Okay. So Nate, as he calls himself inside his own head, plays for the Fitzroy Pumas, which is a fictional team that Rhea has established is in Upper Franconia. I don't know where that is, but there you go. At the start of this book, Nate, who is a big, bulky hockey player, kind of himbo-ish.
Yeah.
Big brown doe eyes, dark brown hair, generally just sort of puppy dog-ish and sweet. He is at a party that some of his teammates have invited him to, a friend of one of the teammates' birthday party. It's at some barn that's sort of out in the middle of nowhere, and he's drunk. So he's having a decent time, but one of the first things that he notices is how undiverse this group is. And by undiverse, he means the only mythical creature here is his teammate, who is a forest troll. So there are mythical creatures in this world.
And is there any explanation given to it?
No, there isn't. But the sort of vibe of it was, these people are shitty.
Yeah.
So perhaps they are also shitty in that they just don't maintain friendships with outside of their species.
I just love the idea of a book where, they launch right into it and they're like, man, can you believe how there's no fucking trolls or orcs here? Like, they don't. That's how you learn that. Like, in just that statement, that is an extremely informative statement. You learn that there are mythical creatures.
Yep.
And that some people are shitty.
Yep.
And they don't keep them, they don't keep company with them.
And that our MMC finds it weird that there aren't more mythical creatures here.
Yeah.
So Nate gets dragged into a conversation with some locals who are like, oh, you're the American, right? Come and talk with us. But then they get bored with him pretty fast when they realize that he's a person and not like a trained SEAL who will do American tricks for beer or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets involved with a conversation with a guy whose name he can't even remember, so I sure can't. And the guy's like, have you ever heard of the Elferdrich?
Okay, there's that word.
Yeah. Nate's like, what is that? It's a creature. This scene was very, very funny because there were a lot of like linguistic jokes and accent jokes that I can't explain to you quite like very well, but ultimately there's a dick joke in here, and there's like a couple of jokes about ridges and hard D's and a couple of other things that are quite funny in this conversation. But what ends up happening is the guy says, yeah, the Elferdrich is a creature who lives in the forest, and if you trap it, you get riches, and Americans love to look for it because Americans love money. So
it sounds like the German word for snipe at this point.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
So Nate's like, and the next thing I know, I'm out in the woods. Basically, like, I'm drunk and I wanted to get away from that party, and so I took the first opportunity I could, which was to walk out into the forest with a net and a stick and try to catch a monster in the woods. He's got a flashlight, so at least he's got that going for him. He eventually finds a spot in the woods that is like relatively clear of debris, and then there's a tree that he can hide like in the roots of. He literally puts a stick in the ground and puts like a net over the stick. It is the dumbest contraption you've ever heard of.
The net just slides down the stick.
Right? I don't know how it stays up, but it does. So he manages to set this trap, and he settles his dumb drunk ass into these tree roots and waits with his flashlight for the Elferdrich to come. Flip perspective to our other MMC. Our other MMC's name is VITUS Kalb. He goes by V. He is an Elferdrich, and that is basically a giant humanoid chicken person. Okay. He is big, like at least 7'5" something feet tall, broad as a barn. He works as a park ranger, and he is walking through the park that Nate is currently trying to catch the Elferdrich in, but he's just doing his rounds trying to catch poachers. Mm-hmm. What he is trying to catch are bluet poachers. Wood bluets are a kind of mushroom, and apparently in this universe, I don't think in the real world, in this universe, they are an incredible aphrodisiac.
Okay.
And they get you kind of high and horny. So they are having problems maintaining the forest because bluet poachers are coming in all of the time trying to get horny mushrooms out of the ground, basically.
I was going to say, I'd be one of them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And apparently it's non-addictive. It's a non-addictive high that gets you super horny. The VITUS does say, like, in his mind, he's like, I did it once just for science. Like, it's just for science, right? But and it was awful because when I like came out of the high, I had I had a chafed dick and a calloused hand.
Been there.
Because it was what? I'm sorry, that just came out of nowhere. What?
Well, I mean, you've seen my hands.
Oh, I mean, you have calloused hands, but not from.
The two things can be mutually exclusive.
Well, that's not what he was talking about.
No, but it was worth it to see you do that.
So confused for a second there. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, me and I go out in the woods and I
jack off until your hands go numb.
Jack off till my hands go numb while I'm tripping on ayahuasca or whatever.
Sounds like a blast, but it sounds like a great time. Leave me out of it, though, please. So he says, I came out of my high with a calloused hand and a chafed dick, and I just want to maintain I don't want to ever do it again. I just want to keep other people from taking all of the mushrooms now.
Yeah.
Also, it's like it's relatively important to the ecosystem. Things here eat this plant and or eat this fungus, that you can't just come and take it all. Anyway, so while he's out wandering the woods and pondering this mushroom poacher problem, he sees a light and he's like, ah, fuck. There they are. Son of a bitch. So he starts following the light.
Practicing terrible light discipline.
Exactly. He starts following the light until eventually he finds this dumb ass trap, like this really ridiculous trap. And he's like, I'm compelled to go and grab the flashlight out of it. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm just going to go and grab this flashlight. He realizes that there are like bluets around, but there's no but they're in the ground. So this isn't a poacher situation. This is just, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'm going to figure it out. He reaches for it. The net falls. The flashlight goes out. And then once he gets it back on again, he gets like disoriented. I think he loses consciousness for a second. I couldn't really understand why. He seemed to be like he got bonked on the head, but really he got hit with a net that's like meant for collecting fish. Okay. So I don't know why he got suddenly unconscious.
Maybe he's allergic to shitty traps.
I guess. I don't know. So he comes back to consciousness and he tries to get out of this net. Again, this is just a shitty net and he can't do it. Like every time he touches it, he gets himself tangled in it worse. It hurts him to try and pull on it. So eventually he just sits there and waits. He realizes that Nate is here, but he is passed out drunk in the tree. So he has to wait for him to wake up.
Hey. You tree-dwelling
And he does.
drunk.
He starts like, hey, frat boy, wake up. Get up. And eventually Nate does wake up. And at first he thinks he's hallucinating because he sees a giant chicken man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in a world where...
Right, but he didn't think... He's never seen this before.
Okay.
He's never heard of a giant bird person. That's not to say it's not real. He doesn't think it's not, like, he thinks he's hallucinating because he's freezing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so the guy's sitting there and he's like, so can you get me out of this net, please? And initially Nate doesn't want to do that because he's a little freaked out by the big bird guy.
Yeah.
But he does pull the net off, help the guy stand up. The guy, he's like, congratulations, you did it. But I guess, good job. But we're going to have to go and get you somewhere warm, otherwise you're gonna die, and that doesn't bode well for our future. And Nate's like, what are you talking about, our future? And V tells him, he who catches the Elfridrich in their net has gained a mate for life.
Oh no. What?
And
I gotta fuck you now?
Nate's like, okay, what? I don't. Okay, haha. Very funny. He thinks he's being pranked. He spends this whole drunken evening thinking that he has been pranked by a chicken man. Reasonable. So eventually, V convinces Nate to come back to his cabin just so he doesn't freeze to death because it's too cold. He's not wearing the correct amount of clothing for this. He is too drunk. He will die of hypothermia, and his bosses will be mad if they find a dead human in their woods. So they walk back. As they are walking back to V's cabin, this is when Nate is like, I think I'm hallucinating. I might be dying of hypothermia, but if I'm dying, it's a pretty sweet way to die because my brain has concocted an incredibly fucking hot chicken man for me to hang out with as I go. And if that's the way I'm gonna go, then I'm pretty cool with that. Nate is gay. He has messed around with dudes before, but he is technically a virgin. He's never had anal sex, but that doesn't mean he's never had sex before.
Yeah.
He is very attracted to V. Specifically, he has an ass that Nate wants to bury his face in, whatever that is to him.
I mean, it's some joke about a down pillow here. I don't know.
Feathers. Yeah. Okay.
It's
feathers.
It's not coming to me.
Yeah. Well, it came for Nate, I guess. So at some point, Nate starts like shivering, like teeth chattering, lips blue. V takes off his jacket so that he can give Nate the sweater that he is wearing underneath. And Nate gets a better view of V's body. V is a big boy. Like I said, he is a big, beautiful, masculine monster. He has a layer. He is definitely very strong. He's definitely very muscular, but he has a layer of nice, soft, pillowy chub across all of that, and then feathers on top of that. So he's very like warm and snuggly, teddy bear-esque. Nate wants to just like bite him. He's just like, I just want to bury my face in some part of this man and never come back out again.
Feathers.
The feathers are part of it. They're doing it for him. The feathers on his body are like very, very short and downy. The feathers on his head, he has a very bird-like head, including a beak. He has a mohawk of like vibrant red, a vibrant red crest, or I think it's a crest. And then the rest of his head is almost black, very dark green, roostery, very traditional rooster colors.
Yeah,
I would think. And again, a beak, which stopped me short for a while. I was like, that motherfucker has a full-on beak, but okay. We'll figure it out when we get there, I guess.
Nate's over there like, what that beak do?
What that beak do, though? What it do, baby?
Bite.
Their chickens are mean and they bite.
That's what I'm saying.
It hurts. Anyway,
I've been bit. It's neck and neck in my life. I feel like between chickens
and horses.
And chickens and horses. I'd rather
motherfuckers just bite.
I'd almost rather get bit by a horse
than a chicken.
The horses, you can get it, like you can see it coming. It's like they kind of wind up a little bit, whereas a chicken, those little fuckers are quick and they'll puncture you.
That's true. But I would almost rather they just like cut my finger a little or my ankle, like look at your ankles and your calves, than that perfect bee sting bruise of a horse bite.
Oh yeah, and then they pull off. They don't
and it hurts like a motherfucker for days.
Welcome to Farm Chat.
Yeah, hi.
Carl and Katie.
Welcome to Crack an Egg. Bet you can't. Come back for more Shoresy and Letterkenny references. But back to this book. Where were we?
We were talking about, you were describing V.
Describing V and how Nate wants to just be with this big, burly chicken man. Yes, okay.
Then we started talking about the beaks.
Yes, and then the beaks. Okay, so anyways, back to So Nate puts on V's sweater and immediately is like, the smell of this man makes me want to do things to him. And again, with the smells, of course, always with the smells. But at least this is normal human smelling a nice thing and not...
not as some creature smelling a vagina from 30 yards
30
away.
paces. Fucking identifying his mate from a lineup of pussies. I don't.
No.
I would much rather Nate just be like, "Oh, the chicken man smells nice."
Right? Like, no. No. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. They get to V's cabin. And Nate is surprised, like, wow, this is legitimately a very nice cabin in the woods. It's got like a nice front porch and these big front windows, and they go inside. It's a beautiful cabin. It's got fireplace and it's all well furnished. It's where V lives. He's been living here for a while. He is a forest ranger. He lives in the forest.
Like you do.
Also, he's very antisocial. He doesn't like crowds, so he prefers to live out in the woods. Fantastic.
Forestry has a residency requirement, apparently.
Yeah.
You have to live in the woods you range.
I think actually that is true.
Oh, it would make sense. I just like the idea of calling it a residency requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, I have to live pretty close to where I work. Where do you work?
The woods.
Fucking woods.
To live in the woods. Do you want to come out to my house in the woods? I'm a giant chicken man.
Funnily enough, you had me until you said giant chicken man.
Sorry, my brain went off on a tangent about it turned this into a horror novel where Colonel Sanders chases a chicken man through the woods.
Well, no, I was going to say, if it were me, I'd be like, yeah, man, sure, I want to go see your cabin in the woods, but then I would just the whole time be thinking, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat off of this guy so good forever.
That's what Nate was thinking, but in a different way.
No.
I'm
just like, look at this giant, gorgeous
Again,
protein source.
Okay.
Not in the same way. That's negligible. That's negligible. But those thighs.
True. I do like a chicken thigh.
Those thighs.
Yum.
Yeah. I mean, I'd save the thighs for last. I'm more of a breast guy, but those thighs. Yeah. I would absolutely murder V for the protein. Sorry, everybody.
It's a cold night in the German woods.
I got needs. I got macro needs.
Nate's like, I want to eat that ass. Yeah. And Carl's like, I want to eat that ass.
Yeah. Same, but also different. I've got a chest freezer. What's your excuse?
Kid, welcome to Serial Killer Talk with Carl.
It did get really dark there for a second.
It did. You're talking about eating our MMC.
I'm hungry. And he's chicken. What did I have for lunch?
A bowl of stuff with chicken.
What did I have for dinner?
Enchiladas with chicken.
Exactly. What do I eat for breakfast a lot? Eggs. What eggs turn into? Chicken. There you go. Well, those eggs. I mean, eggs turn into lots of things. Eggs turn into human babies.
I was gonna say, snakes.
Hi, welcome to Egg Talk. Here's a list of things that come from eggs. Dogs. Nope. That's not true.
Not true. Oh my God! What if it was?
I mean, technically,
nest of puppies.
Right. Little puppy hatching from little floppy ear comes out.
You were like, "Oh God, I want this episode to be so short." Now we're on our third tangent. This one's about if dogs hatch from eggs.
Which started when I said I wanted to eat our MMC, one of our MMCs.
Fucking God.
Rhea, we're so sorry. So sorry. We're better than this.
We really are.
I know you're listening.
I hope you're not. I loved this book so much. Oh, God. Okay. Anyway, so they get inside and they pretty quickly start kissing. Like, it just sort of happens. Both of them.
Hell yeah.
Kyle, who the fuck is Kyle? Nate is like, I don't know about the logistics of this. And he's V's like, what do you mean the logistics? Oh, you mean my beak? Just do it. Just kiss me. We'll figure it out. And Nate is very surprised to find like the description of it seems like he's kissing something that has more a firmness akin to like a nose, like something that's more collagen, less bone. It doesn't have like a ton of give, but it is softer than he thinks it would be.
Yeah, and I love giving our kids little smooches on the nose.
Yeah, but would you make out with a nose?
Oh.
The thing is, though, like you can't really say because you've never made out with anything but a mouth.
I mean, true.
Yeah. You know. So I'm not judging Nate, I guess. Is what
God,
I'm saying.
no.
So they make out for a while. And then, like, some clothes come off. I think he manages to get V's shirt off, which is when we learn that his whole body, I think, is covered in feathers, but the feathers are, like, very, very short. And he does have nipples. Why?
Why not?
But, I mean, why not? But why? Because he's a bird. Why does he have nipples? I'm thinking, why does he have a dick either? So
I was going to say, we've gotten this far in the book, And the thing that stopped you cold
was why does the bird man have nipples?
Why does chicken man have nipples? Rhea, why chicken man nipples? IRL chicken, no nipple.
IRL chicken, no nipple. IRL chicken, no big dick though. So I mean, there you go. Or abs. I think he might have abs. I don't know.
Probably not.
No, he doesn't have abs because he's got like a warm, chubby man tummy.
Do you want to take a break and learn some German?
Sure.
Here, this is for everybody.
Ich möchte den Hühnermann essen.
What is that?
I want to eat the chicken man.
No.
Okay. I just want
to eat the chicken man, Carl. You can't eat the chicken man.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Hey, if Nate does it, it's fine. If I do it, it's murder. Anyway.
2 different kinds of eating.
So he's making out with his nose beak.
His nose beak. So he's making out with the chicken man. There is some like hesitation on V's part because Nate is very drunk. Like, it's obvious that he is drunk, and that's not cool. So he's like trying to pull away, and then Nate goes down and starts playing with his nipples, starts nibbling on and sucking on his nipples, and he's like, okay, maybe we will continue with this.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. They get back to kissing, and then very suddenly V pulls away. It says stop because Nate has put his hands in V's pants. Okay.
I got to explain some things here.
Not even that. It's just, okay, stop. You're very drunk.
Yeah.
We can't do this tonight.
Of course.
So he puts Nate on the couch with a blanket and a glass of water and goes to bed. In the middle of the night, V wakes up because he hears whimpering. He goes out into the hallway and finds Nate on the ground, sort of disoriented and feverish, sweating and uncomfortable. He gets him back on the sofa, kind of gets a couple of things out of him, but he's not making a lot of sense. And eventually Nate just asks if he would please stay with him, so that he doesn't have to go to sleep alone. He does. V stays with him until the next morning. When Nate wakes up again, he is fine, but hungover. V is out doing something else. So Nate has like a second to evaluate what's going on. And then V comes into the room, and suddenly Nate remembers what happened the night before. And all of the blood rushes to his dick, and he feels really embarrassed and self-conscious, but at the same time also incredibly horny because V's not wearing a shirt right now, I don't think. So you're trying to have a civil conversation, and Nate apologizes, I believe, for causing a fuss, basically, but V is like, yeah, I took care of you, frat boy, shut up. Yeah. He calls him frat boy multiple times. That is his nickname for him throughout the book. And when Nate defends himself against that, like, why do you call me that? You're wearing a sweatshirt with Greek letters on it right now. Okay, but like, in my defense, I only got in the frat because my goalie was in the frat and all my other teammates were in the frat, so I got in the frat.
It's fine.
And V's like, oh wait, shit, you play hockey? Oh yeah, do you like hockey? No. V pretends that he does not like hockey, but V is from Canada. So,
oh no.
You don't like hockey? Really? You don't like hockey, Mr. Canadian Chicken Man?
It's illegal.
It's illegal to not like hockey. That's why he doesn't live there anymore. That's why he's in Germany now. They kicked him out.
Germany, the hockey hating or hockey loving laws are a little more lax.
Canadian expat had to leave because he didn't like hockey. No, there's actually a few times in this book, hockey is not like mentioned a ton, but there are a few times in this book where it is used to very adorable effect. Like when V and Nate are talking or fucking and they do something that is endearing, cute, emotional, like makes them feel something that, like, a little too intensely, they'll call it misconduct. Which I thought was really cute.
Oh. Well, you're gonna get a 5-minute major there for that one. That's 10 minutes. That's game misconduct. game misconduct, to be clear.
Game misconduct for saying you loved me, kissing me on the forehead.
Because when you say game misconduct, I don't want it to come out as gay misconduct, which is a totally different
Game
thing.
misconduct. I don't know what that is. Somebody from that part of the community will have to tell me what gay misconduct is. I don't know what that is.
It's just regular misconduct. Just you're gay,
but gay at the same time.
If you're like a bunch of your friends go out and do graffiti,
okay,
it's gay misconduct.
Awesome. So Nate,
if you like don't split the bill at brunch.
Oh, gay misconduct.
Gay misconduct.
Okay, sure, makes sense. So Nate asks if he can take a shower. And V's like, yeah, you stay there for a second. Let me go get you some clothes. And that's when Nate realizes that he's naked. And he's like, why am I naked? Well, because you sweated through your clothes and you were like gross and grubby from being in tree roots and walking through the woods and stuff. But you sweated through your clothes last night. So let me get you some clean ones, please. They get to the bathroom and initially V is like, okay, here's the shower. Here's the sink. Here's
pussy eating bench.
He doesn't have a pussy eating bench, but then he doesn't need one, does he? Because he doesn't eat pussy in there, at least not today.
Ass eating bench.
Ass eating bench. Although he is indiscriminate, he says, in the gender of his sexual partner. So I guess that makes V pan.
Yeah.
But once they're in the bathroom, things get pretty hot pretty fast. Again, they start kissing, and then V pulls them underneath the shower. I didn't realize the first time I read it that he pulls them under fully clothed. That feels like misconduct because I don't like having wet clothes.
Oh, God. I don't even like stepping in something wet on the floor.
I know.
You're telling me now I got to be wet all over?
Well, I guess only V is wet because Nate's already naked.
There were a couple of times when I was in the military where I ended up in my full like BCUs just soaked.
Ugh.
The worst. It's the fucking worst.
Sounds disgusting. I want to die. I don't want to do that.
Oh.
Ugh, thank God I'm not in the military. They wouldn't even take me. I have way too many diagnoses.
They love their abbreviations though, so maybe.
Well, I guess let me know if you're here for ADHD, GAD, and a few other things. They get naked, and Nate drops to his knees to suck that cock dick. And and he does have an interesting peen. It's not the most interesting that we've had, but it's definitely a weird dick. So it is long, obviously proportionally quite large because V is large. It is tapered without a head, so it's just pointy at the top. But by description, it is ridged, but it's like it's got two long chambers and the ridge is up the middle.
Okay.
He also, because he is a bird, not that this is very important, but it does come up in the book, his dick is not fueled, inflated by blood. It's part of his lymphatic system.
So it is not comprised of erectile tissue.
It is.
Oh, okay.
But it does not. It doesn't expand with the help of blood. It expands with lymph.
Okay.
Lymphatic.
Yeah.
Lymphatic liquid. So it's part of his lymphatic system, and he can control his orgasm. He decides when he comes. So cool.
I don't know. I kind of like the surprise.
Yeah. The surprise is nice.
Yeah.
I will give you that. I mean, he does say like in his head, like his body is begging him, like his brain just needs to flip the switch. It's like asking a gambler not to pull a slot machine, you know?
And he's over there. Hold.
Exactly. It does mean that he always gets to make sure that Nate comes first, which he likes.
Yeah.
He is happy about that. So Nate, like I said, drops to his knees, sucks that dick, has a fantastic time doing it until eventually V comes, he swallows, and it licks him clean. And he's like, I love your taste, man. Okay. He doesn't say what the taste is, though, so I don't know if it's different or if it's just Nate, who's really into V's specific taste. Once they're done, V, like, apologizes for I don't know what. I guess taking advantage of the situation somehow. I'm not entirely sure what this apology was about. And Nate wasn't either. He was like, that was the greatest. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm really sorry you sucked my dick.
I
I'm so sorry.
had a fantastic time doing that. Why don't you take me to bed and I'll show you how not sorry I am. So then they go to bed. And then V sucks Nate's dick, which what?
It's got a beak.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was intrigued by because he has a beak, but I guess like if I can keep my teeth from touching a dick,
Yeah.
then he can keep his beak from touching a dick.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just fine until Nate eventually comes. Fantastic. Glory, glory. They had a very short conversation in between Nate coming down V's throat. They talk very briefly about like, what do you want to do next? And Nate's like, well, I don't know if you know your way around an ass because I don't, but we'll figure it out together if we don't. And that's when V learns that Nate has never had penetrative sex. And he's like, that is fine by me. I've never been the kind of person to be disappointed by that. That was the first time I ever really thought about that as being a bad thing. He was like, I'm not disappointed by that. I'm not disappointed that my partner is a virgin. Usually we're like, yes, a virgin. And this guy's like, oh, usually people are disappointed by that, but I don't care. It was just a weird way to flip that.
It would be.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that 5 seconds that my brain took to fix itself around that.
I personally would be neither, but
Yeah.
I would understand. It makes more sense to be
disappointed.
kind of like,
oh, this might not be as fun.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just saying I can understand how that would be a response, as opposed to that makes more sense than excitement.
Yes,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. It was just strange to actually see it in print, I guess.
Yeah.
In any context. Anyway, so Nate then says that he's messed around with some other guys, but he's never been with anyone else. And the second that he says that he's been with other guys in any capacity, they both feel incredibly nauseous. And for a second, they think that Nate is sick. Not that V is sick, but that Nate is sick. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is a mating bond thing because the idea of being with anyone besides his mate makes him nauseous. But it's never really fully explained beyond that. It was just a very strange little moment that happened. And so once they overcome that, V lays Nate back down and starts working on his ass.
Again. Wait, Nate working on V?
No, V working on Nate.
Again, beak. But
no. He's fingering him.
Oh, his finger.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He goes. He gets some lube.
Feathers. Okay, lube.
Yeah, feathers. I just had to kind of not think about the feathers. So he goes. He gets some lube, and I very much appreciated that this scene was a very long scene of anal preparation. It wasn't one of those like quick spit and we're in like ooh situations. It was a very long, methodical, caring process to make sure that his partner was not hurt.
Well, yeah.
It was lovely.
A, that's nice to read, and B, it's easier to do that
Yes.
than figure out how to spell.
Yikes. Yep. Yeah.
How to spell. How do you spell a silent scream?
Yep. How do you spell? Exactly. So eventually V does fuck Nate. It is glorious and phenomenal. They have a fantastic time. V comes after Nate has come again. And they fall asleep blissfully. At some point, V makes Nate food. They have actual food. Before he can make the scrambled eggs, though, Nate does jack him off in the kitchen. Like, they just keep on fucking. Not on the food.
No. V has eggs?
Yeah, V has eggs. They're not Eldritch eggs. They're just regular chicken eggs. He doesn't care.
Still, though, that seems like a few degrees of separation too close to.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? I'm gonna have to find a minotaur that eats beef.
Because if I got drunk in Germany and went out to catch an Elfriedrich,
Yep.
and then fucked him and all that stuff,
Yep.
and then the next day he opened his fridge and had eggs in it,
Uh-huh.
I would have questions. That's where I would have questions.
That's where you would draw the line.
Yeah,
Not at fucking the big chicken man.
Nope.
Nope, you'd fuck him.
Yeah, fuck the chicken man.
So in this scenario, you haven't actually murdered him to eat him. You're fucking the chicken man in this scenario.
How else am I going to gain his trust?
Okay, fair, valid. Okay, old school spy shit. Yes.
Honeypot.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you've fucked the giant chicken man,
Yep.
and then he opens his fridge to make you breakfast afterwards. Yep. And you're like, wait, you have eggs?
Yeah.
Now I have questions?
Yes. But I'm still going to eat the eggs because, again, I need my macros.
Yeah.
My protein macros.
Your protein macros. And you have to eat the food he makes you to continue to gain his trust.
Exactly.
Until eventually
I commit murder most foul.
I know everybody heard that pun. They all heard it. They heard it right in the words.
I can
right
even though this is not how podcasts work at all, I can hear everybody shutting it off right now. It's so crazy that
you can hear everybody just go,
it's so crazy. Right around the 50-minute mark of this episode, it just
people just stop.
Or just stops. Like if you look at the playback analytics, it's like a cliff.
Amazing.
It actually makes a middle finger. It's really weird.
The pun that murdered Cheap Smut. No one ever listened again. We stopped making it. We had to go into hiding.
Oh my God! Did you hear? Katie and Carl got canceled. Oh my God! What'd they do? Oh, Carl just made a really bad pun. How bad was that pun?
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Anyway.
So they've had their lovely morning. They have a nap.
I should hope so.
They wake up from that nap to V getting a phone call from one of his fellow park rangers. And he's like, I'm sorry. I know it's your day off, but we have a missing person. We have to search the woods.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm on it.
Yeah, from the background, like Nate can hear one of his teammates shouting, like, let's get go. It's the forest troll. He's like, let's get going. I'm going now. I don't care if the cops are coming or not. I'm looking for my teammate, man. And so on the phone, his colleague is like, so we're looking for, and he's like, you're looking for Nate Decker. He's tall, dark hair, brown eyes, hockey player.
Really tight ass.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Never mind.
Never mind. So he says, yeah, I found him. He was drunk in the woods last night, and I just brought him back to my cabin to sleep it off. They sell this as Nate just being a drunk American in the woods and V helping him. Nate says, yeah, I was going to come back this morning, but I was still feeling hungover and I get car sick. So he just let me hang out and he gave me something to eat. We've been watching TV.
Yeah, he did.
Right? He fed me. Okay. And I'm sorry. We'll come back in a little bit. But after this, V shuts down completely. And there is no more sweet, horny, emotionally vulnerable VITUS anymore. He just gets Nate his stuff, gets him into his car, and drives him home. And that's it. And Nate is thrown for a loop. He has no fucking clue what's going on. And then we cut to fucking 6 weeks later. 6 weeks later.
What?
Yeah. And Nate hasn't seen him. And it is slowly killing him inside. Like, he is going day to day. He has to continue. He's got practice. He's got games. He's playing fine. But he's like just not enjoying his life at all.
He's still wheeling and sniping.
Yeah.
But he's just not feeling the celly.
Yeah. It just doesn't.
No wheel snipe celly, boys.
Yeah. There's no joy in it anymore for him. And he's sad. He's sad about it all the time. And
wheel snipe cry.
Wheel snipe cry, boys. It's okay to cry, boys.
Have a good cry. Squirt a few. It's going to be great.
Scored a few, though. I don't know about that one. His teammates.
Fuck you. I'll cry how I want.
You know what? You're right. I
Yeah.
shouldn't judge the way you cry. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize for that.
This is why I don't cry in front of you.
Yeah,
That's not true.
that's not true. You cry in front of me all the time.
I cried the other night watching
You're-
Deadpool 2.
You're weepy.
I am.
Yeah. Anyway, so Nate is just sort of trudging through life. He thinks about V constantly, all the time. One of the things that he did, like right after V dropped him off at home, was that he Googled the guy, and he figured out what it is that happened. So V lied about not liking hockey. Canadian liar, liar, pants on fire. Used to play hockey. He was a junior pro.
Mm-hmm.
And he played on a team with a guy whose name I can't remember right now, who died on the ice. He had
Oh, we got the got the skate in the neck.
the skate in the neck.
Yeah.
From context clues, Nate fills in the blank, says they were probably together, and this guy died, and he can't bring himself to date another hockey player, is what he assumes is going through V's head. So he's like, okay, fine. This is the decision that V has made. It sucks and it hurts, but what else am I going to do about it? So he's dealing until one day at practice or after practice, he's in the locker room, and then he hears somebody in German say a bunch of words, but one of those words is V. And he looks up to see V is there in the locker room talking to another player who is a friend of his. He played with him in Canada. So he knows the guy, and V has used those connections to get into the Panthers practice.
Okay.
Specifically to see Nate. Nate comes up to to this little group of dudes that is talking and says hi to V, and they shake hands, and then they just never let go of each other's hands.
Aww.
And then V's like, nice to see you all. Goodbye. Like, they were in the middle of a conversation, and V was like, I'm leaving now, and I'm taking Nate with me. I'm not explaining any of this. Goodbye. And they just walked away.
I'm a 7.5 foot tall chicken man. I owe you nothing.
I owe you nothing. Me and my big ass mohawk don't owe you shit. So yeah, they just walk away, and they drive back to, I believe, Nate's apartment this time. And V explains from the whole story of what happened with this poor person in Canada who died. He says he was in love with the guy, but he never told him that. He just crushed on him super hard for a long time. And then the day that he finally got the nerve up to tell him, like, he was going to make his confession, that was the day he died.
Oh, God.
And that's just, I mean, that's so hard. And there was nothing that he could do. He blames himself for it, but what are you going to do? He was a human, and his carotid artery got cut.
Yeah.
They just had to stand there. But Nate does tell him, as he is like sobbing, telling this story, the very last thing this guy saw was your face. The very last thing that he saw was a person who loved him. And whether you told him that or not, that's not important. At least he died with someone who loved him. That's a good thing. It was very, very emotional for being this very short little moment in this very short little book about a guy who fucks a chicken man. I was so moved, and it was very sweet.
That is. I that is something that I think about near constantly. Is that I hope that when I go, I get to see somebody that I love or loves me.
Aw.
I hope that's the case. That's one of my. I don't have like a lot of like, oh, I'm afraid of spiders or snakes. I mean, I'm scared of stuff, but like big life fears, that's right up there. Is that when I die, I will be alone. That terrifies me. Welcome to Death Chat with Katie and Carl.
How many more chats can we possibly have today that are just not smut related at all? And so they finish that conversation. It's sweet and lovely, and they talk about just a little bit about why Nate has been feeling so very desperate in his lack of V for the last 6 weeks. The mating thing is true. He caught him in his net. He thought he was pranking him. He was not. V could not get out of that net. And it's a magic thing. They solidified that mating bond when they had sex.
When they mated.
So they are a mated pair now. Then they have sex some more to celebrate that. And at the very end of that chapter, they talk about moving in together. And Nate's like, I'm moving into your place because your place is nicer than mine. Basically. It's like also like 20, like he lives in like a prefab or pre-furnished like shoebox that hockey players probably rent specifically. It was never a long-term solution for him. He would much rather go live in this established home in the woods with his misanthropic hot chicken man. Exactly. That is the end of the book. Cut to our epilogue,
of course,
which is, I want to say, 8 months later. Nate is landing after a week, I believe, a week-long trip to Scotland for the team, I think. And like as soon as they are unpacked and everything, he walks right out. You guys, you want to go get a drink with the team? Absolutely not. I got to go see my man. Goodbye. He gets in his car and he drives right to the cabin. As soon as he gets there, V is out the door running to see him, and Nate jumps right into his arms. They've only been apart for a few days, but it's obviously killed them. It was very cute. They go inside. They have a sweet, quick conversation, and then Nate can't take it anymore. The ring in his pocket is just burning a hole, so he hits his knees and he proposes to V, and V starts crying, and then he reaches into the drawer in their coffee table and pulls out a ring and hands it to Nate. It's so cute. I loved it. It was adorable. So anyway, that is the end. They're going to get married. It's so cute.
Oh, cute.
I love it. The end. That was Puck and Plume by Rhea Fox.
Pluck and Plume or Puck and Plume?
Puck and Plume.
That was Pluck and Plume.
Sorry. Nope. Puck.
No. It's
hockey.
You have nothing to do. Well, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very sweet. Slice of cozy gay hockey chicken heaven. I have been hoping to read a Rhea Fox book on this show for a while, specifically because she has a series called the Creatures and Coding series, which is about human women and anthropomorphic predator men. Like, so straight up, have you ever seen the meme about like that one tiger in Zootopia who would treat me right? Like, yeah. They look like that. Like they look like the animals in Zootopia.
Okay.
But the cover that I saw first that intrigued me was straight up a lion with a man bun and a white shirt, like a white button down. Like they were working in the IT department and he just had to get his hair off of his face.
Did he have glasses too?
No, he didn't have glasses. I think she did though. But anyway, then there's one that's like straight up that tiger from Zootopia, big burly anthropomorphic tiger guy, and a little like a beautiful but small human woman just like walking down the beach.
I'll tell you what.
I wanted to read them so bad, but they were too long for the show.
I don't really care that I'm losing my hair. But I'm there's actually a practical application to it. It was that now that I am losing my hair and I just shave my head, I'll never be tempted to have a man bun.
Never, not once.
Never be tempted to have a man bun.
No.
Look, some guys can rock it, most can't.
Some guys look great with long hair. Yeah. Not everybody does.
No, I mean a man bun.
Oh, a man bun specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do need to have a specific kind of hair to do like a top bun.
Oh, yeah,
like a messy
absolutely.
bun. If your hair is too thin, you just can't do it. You know who pulls off a great man bun is Rhett.
Oh yeah. Rhett of Rhett and Link.
Rhett and Link. Yeah, of the Good Mythical Morning crew.
He does, yeah. And here's the thing. It's not so much the man bun that offends me, because the man bun has a feminine what's the word I'm looking for here? Like a yin and yang, like a feminine counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
The man bun, the feminine counterpart to the man bun is the woman with the shaved head.
Okay.
For me, and here's why. Because I don't mind the man bun, but what I always minded was these videos of these extremely hot guys.
Mm-hmm.
And like the whole premise of the video was like, this totally normal looking dude just puts his hair up in a man bun and he looks amazing.
Yes.
This woman shaves her head and look how beautiful she is. They're both fucking models. They're gorgeous.
Yes.
No matter what hairstyle, no matter what fucking stupid hairstyle you put on, it could be anything. They're going to look amazing. It's not the bun. It's not the shaved head. They're just attractive people.
Yes.
That's my rant. That's my soapbox. I just told you what I'm not into, but what are you into?
Oh, so nice. Good. Okay, me and much of the internet are into the song "Good Luck Babe" by Chappell Roan.
I thought we were gonna overlap there for a second. Go
Yeah?
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It's just an incredible bop. I've listened to some other stuff by Chappell Roan now as well, but "Good Luck Babe" was the first one to hit me because it was a bit of an internet sensation. Chappell Roan is a queer pop music artist out of, I believe, California. "Good Luck Babe" is this incredible song about, basically my interpretation of it is a woman reflecting on the relationship she had with a woman who was not ready to be in a queer relationship and the fallout of that. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's sad lyrics, fun song, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just great. It's just great. I listen to it at least once a day. That's what I am into. What are you into, my darling?
I was gonna go with the Fallout television series. It's very great. Go watch it. But then I decided to go with a song, specifically the new Macklemore single, Heinz Hall.
Heinz Hall is so fucking good, dude.
That is a fucking screed. That is that is the most Rage Against the Machine song since Rage Against the Machine.
As he said in his tweet.
Yeah.
God, yes. That song is so fucking good.
Yeah, that is it. It is Macklemore's very definitive Free Palestine statement that is extremely timely and extremely good. And if you'd have told me when I accidentally met him like 8 years ago that I would be sitting on a podcast one day praising his pro-Palestine song, I would have been like, meh. Fucking this guy?
Yeah.
This
weirdo?
Guy. This guy.
The thrift shop guy.
Thrift shop guy.
Yeah. He was in Flint during the water crisis to talk.
Yeah.
And that's why Carl met him.
But I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was at a meeting for an entirely different thing for this venue that some friends of mine run, and I was going to try and do some stuff there. And then my friend Joel is like, "Hey, do you know Macklemore?" I mean, I know of him.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Well, now you do. Now you're gonna.
Well, that's why he's like, "Oh, he's on his way here."
Yeah.
Like,
gonna come hang out.
And it's a long story, but he was passing through Detroit, and he wanted to come up to Flint, and he wanted to hear like firsthand accounts of what was happening with the water crisis.
Yeah.
And then another organization showed up, and we talked and told stories, and I got to meet him and take a picture with him. So yeah, it's crazy that this is the timeline of. I remember hearing the song "Thrift Shop" when I was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, when I was still in the Army, going, this it's kind of all right. And then he just kept making pretty good tunes. And then, like last year, I think, was it last year? Maniac came out?
Yeah, a couple years ago, Maniac.
Maniac came out. That was a bop that our kids loved and still do when it comes on. But then this, it was like, holy shit, way to just throw down the fucking gauntlet.
Yep.
So props to you, Macklemore. I'm going to have a link to, it's got to be on YouTube. I'll link it somewhere, and I'll also link your song as well. What are we reading next week?
That is a very good question. Give me a moment here to pull up my calendar and tell you. There we go. Next week, because it sounded fun and I have very little idea of what's coming, we are reading Lust for Tomorrow by Dana Sweeney.
Okay.
I'm very much looking forward to that one. That, I believe, is a post-apocalyptic future. So that should be really, really fun. In the meantime, Carl can do the outro, I think, because I don't think I have anything else to say.
Yeah, I suppose I could. But you just stole my thunder. You can find us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads @CheapSmut. If you would like to send us an email, you can. cheapsmutpod gmail.com. If you click on our link tree in the show notes, the top link is a link to this book. It is not an affiliate link. We do not get any money for it. We are just trying to help the authors out. If you would like us to get some money for some stuff, you can go to Patreon and support us like these fine folks: Stephanie Hawkins, Gemma, Lady Squishy Buns, Tia Esk, Rob Gatika, Angela McNichols, Katie Hurd, Gwendolyn Harper, Seneca O, and Rebecca K. Many of those folks are enjoying their brand new cheap smut stickers, which will be available as soon as I figure out how to sell them on a website. The music that you hear in this and every episode is called Nostalgia by Mackay Beats. You can find it along with thousands of other songs free of charge for you to use at the Free Music Archive, freemusicarchive.org.
It has been a blast telling you all about the Chicken Man today, listener. Remember, if there is a book in you, write it. And if there is fucking in it, or plucking,
or clucking,
I'll read it.
And then she will come on this show and explain it to me for your entertainment.
Bye-bye.